Okay, here we are back in Why Am I Dead at Sea for the third chapter of the game. To start things off, we need to talk to Paulo and find out more about what has changed now that we have turned the boat. We've changed the ship's direction. Good. Now we can breathe a bit easier, except not really since there's still a murderer on the loose. All of this has really exhausted me though. I wasn't prepared to deal with maintaining such a distant connection. Overnight we'll have to rest. I'll need you to enter a dormant state. I doubt there's much you can do while everyone else on the ship is asleep in any case. Are you ready to go to the next day? Yeah, sure. What does one say in this situation? Sweet dreams? You've learned a great deal about the other passengers on the ship. With each person you gain control of, you edge closer to the truth. Each thread you uncover ultimately has its roots in your murder. But there is something else. Perhaps this mystery is not as straightforward as I once thought. There's a twist coming up. It isn't a good one. I have the feeling that this is only going to end horribly. I'm scared. Please, help me. Never mind, let's be on our way. Good morning, passengers. This is your friendly first mate, Ferdinand, speaking. I would like to ask all staff and passengers onto the B1 floor for an important announcement. I can make the announcement via intercom, but I feel this is a matter that requires a face-to-face talk. Thank you, and I'll see you very soon. And since we need to blend in, we're going to grab the cat. Hello, everyone. As the first mate of this fine vessel, I must inform the crew of any notable events. And so it happens that right now we find ourselves in such a... Right. Yesterday, our lovely captain was not in the pilot house all day. In her absence, it is my duty to fill her shoes and pilot the ship, for the time being. However, rest assured that this is no cause for alarm. I am sure the captain is fine. She is most certainly on the ship somewhere. Yep, right as rain. If the staff would look for her in their off hours, I'm sure things will be back to normal by nightfall. I must head to the pilot house. Enjoy your cruise. Well, you all heard the man. Sounds like unpaid overtime to me. Is that true? The captain is missing. Actually, I didn't see her yesterday either. Not that I was looking, but... we won't know anything for sure until we search the ship. No reason to start freaking out now. Maybe not, but it does raise a lot of questions, doesn't it? Notice someone missing from there? Well, breakfast hours have started. I gotta get back to work. No matter what happens, people gotta eat. Sue, you coming? Yes, of course, sorry. I have a feeling they aren't going to find the captain. What do you mean? Given the circumstances, they didn't seem very worried. I wonder if they know something they're not letting on. The captain has to be somewhere, right? I should get to work, I guess. I'm sure this will turn out okay. Where's Donovan? He's the only person who didn't show up. Yeah, strange. I'm sure he heard the announcement on the intercom. That's okay, he creeps me out. He is a strange one. It might not be a bad idea to keep an eye on him. Well, I should go feed my pets. Be careful, everyone. You've been really quiet, Daryl. What do you think? What should we do? Nothing, there's no point. We can search the ship or ask around if anyone saw anything suspicious or... What is it? Don't you get it? She's dead, and there's nothing we can do about it. When they announced the captain was missing, Daryl had a strong reaction. He looked like he was in pain. What's going on with him? glitching out here. Oh, come on. There we go. Looks like things gotten complicated. Sunshine, I don't care what the first man says. I think he's up to something. We're going to show him, right? That's the spirit. And he's still as clueless as ever. Who has the key? Trash is full of trash. Who would have thought? How are you doing on this beautiful day? I'm fine. Are you sure? Nothing I can help you with? You're not upset by the captain, I hope. There she is. The energy to deal with it, and even if I did, there's still nothing I can do about any of it. I couldn't help her, and I can't help anyone here. Something about the captain's disappearance has upset you. She reminded me of someone I used to know. It doesn't matter anymore. He knows anything suspicious. Some things are missing from my room, like the key to my journal. When I say missing, I mean stolen. Seems like there's a thief on board. Not sure whether they would take the key, but I thought it opened something more important. Based on that, can I now take the key? There's a sword, electronics, and jewelry here. Does this all belong to Sue? Wait, that key says Daryl on it. I think I understand what's going on here. I should take Daryl's key. It unlocks his journal, doesn't it? Here we go. A fancy leather-bound diary is on the desk. Let's read it. Daryl's key is unable to unlock the journal. Page 1. I've been told that reflecting on my thoughts could help. I doubt I'll end up sticking to the habit, but when I get to that point, I'll try to write. I don't know why. I don't believe for a second it'll do anything. Several pages have been torn from the journal. 9. I should be happy. Good career, good health, financially sound, loving parents, the most amazing husband in the world. I shouldn't be unhappy. I don't have the right to be unhappy. I have more than I deserve. I'd be spoiled or ungrateful to not appreciate what I have. So what the fuck is my problem? 11. Broke down again this morning. I was able to come up with an excuse so that he wouldn't see me. I want to tell him how I feel, but he doesn't need that weight. Don't be so selfish. Take, take, take. That's all I can do. No matter how much I'm given, all I can do is bring people down. I'll do it to him too at this rate. I don't deserve him. 15. I started again. I'm such a fuck up. This time I won't be able to hide my wrists. People will see. Oh god. I'm so fucking pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I just don't see any way forward or any other way out. This was always coming. There was no avoiding it. I just can't. I can't do it anymore. I want you to know I love you more than anything. Please forget about me. I know you deserve better. I love you. Mari. So, let's go have a head-to-head chat with Daryl. I'm sorry, but I read your journal. You what? That was private, extremely private. There's a reason it was locked. And how'd you get the key? I got the key from Sue's room. I think she stole it from you. Is that right? Well, thanks for letting me know, I guess. But there was no reason for you to use it for yourself. I'll return the key, but we have to talk. There's nothing to talk about. You read the journal, so you know what happened. We were married for 3 years, moved out to the suburbs, got a house, had plans for a family. She was stressed about her work, but she was happy, I thought. She had combined medications. Lots of them. I guess she wanted to be sure. I came home from work late, and, well, there she was. It wasn't your fault. There were signs, for a long time, really. But I never saw them, and she never brought it up. Why? Why didn't I notice? For years she was suffering, and I did nothing. Nothing. Have you talked about this with others? Yes, with her family and mine. No one saw it coming. Daryl, you look like death itself. Where are you really traveling to? Far away. I hope. I can't be sure. But it doesn't matter. None of it matters. If you ever want to talk, I'm here to listen. I don't think that'll be necessary, but thank you. So now we have control of Daryl. You said you know what death looks like. What does that mean? I know it sounds really dramatic. I just mean people that have come to terms with their death act differently. They see the world in a different way. You struck me as that kind of person. And how do you know so much about this? Well, I've got several months to live, so there's that. What? Yeah, I've got cancer pretty much all over my body. It's the liver cancer that's gonna do it, though. Not gonna lie, my liver's a total mess. I think I'm looking at 3 or 4 months now. Why aren't you back with your family? I spent lots of time with them since I first got the news. I also want to spend some time with myself, just writing. When it comes time, I'll head back and see everyone again. Say my goodbyes. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't get like that. It's just how life goes sometimes. You're so upbeat about this. I guess it could look that way. I've just gotten used to it. It took a while. At first I was devastated, of course. Eventually it sunk in that this was going to happen and there was nothing I could do to stop it. That this is all I have, all I'm ever going to have. I'd come to terms with that. I had to continue living and be happy despite that. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was worth it. Now I have complete control over her. Time unlocked. Oops. Kella says you stole my key and she found it in your room. I stole? No, I would never do something like that. I'm sorry, there must be some misunderstanding. You can drop this act. I'll take Kella's word over yours any day. No, I mean, you don't understand. It's... Give me a good reason not to tell everyone else what you're doing. What? Jeez, look, I just need extra money. Any extra money I can get. I get paid in peanuts here, and I'm really desperate. Every bit counts. That's not a good reason. You get room and board, so you don't need the money. I'm not legal, alright? I came over on a student visa for university, and, well, I flunked. My family threw everything away to send me over here. I couldn't go back, like a total failure. So I disappeared. Stupid, I know. With no paperwork or money, I couldn't get very far. This job didn't need any ID or qualifications, but I'm pretty much broke and stuck here. For me to have any chance of getting out, I have to scrape together something. If I lose this job, I have no idea what'll happen to me. This is no way to live, Sue. Once we land, we're sorting this out. We may not have to do anything. It seems like almost everyone knows by this point. I'm mostly worried about Donovan. I just don't understand what he's planning. And now I have total control over Sue. Servitude unlocked. What wakes you up in the morning? My alarm clock. I mean, what motivates you? Everything. Success. This ship reeks of mediocrity. Every day I wake up and remember how bad I want to get out of here. I'm gonna become the best damn cook I can, and then I'll start my own 4-star restaurant. Unlike other people here, I've had to bite and claw for everything I get. I'm used to it. No matter how much work I have to put in, I'm going to make it big. So, let's see if we can have a word with Ferdinand before we go confront Donovan. What made you want to be a sailor? It's a hard question to answer. Ever since I was a child, I loved the sea. My pappy always took me out deep-sea fishing. Once I stopped throwing up constantly, I really fell in love with the ocean. That sounds like a canned response, known as that simple. Sounds like someone doesn't believe in childhood dreams. I assure you it's the truth, on my pappy's grave. Whatever you say. By the way, I'm smoking in here. Deal with it. You seem to be strongly driven by something. I wonder what that is. And just what are you on about? Most people on this ship are here because they have nowhere else to be. Not you, though. Seems like you got me all figured out. Go on, what else do you want to tell me about myself? You're looking for something. Everyone's looking for something. Right now I'm looking for a way to end this conversation. You've lost someone very close to you. What exactly makes you say that? It takes someone in that position to know one. Sorry to hear that. That's your business, not mine. Now are we done? You can't find anything to be driven for anymore. I'm not interested in your existential crisis. Why playing badly isn't always a good thing. Sometimes that just means we're wanting an end to suffering. Sometimes it just means wanting to create suffering. So how'd you wind up in a place like this? It's better than home, I guess. That seems to be what most people here think. And where are you hoping to go? Far, far away. What do you do then? I haven't thought that far ahead, really. I guess I'd want to get an education if I could. I've always wanted to be a scientist. How'd you end up on the ship? There's nothing waiting back home for you? Oh, sure. I spend more time with my pets than my own kids. Funny how that works out. What about you? You got a wife? Kids? An ex-wife? Same here, let me tell you. Divorce is one hell of a thing. No matter how close you get to someone, you can never really know them completely. There'll always be some wall, something deep inside them you don't know about. And sometimes that thing can just rip you to shreds. I think I know what you mean. I'm truly sorry to hear that. Sometimes it feels like the only things I can trust are my pets. Sure, they're dumb as bricks, but that's how you know you can trust them. I guess that's why I like animals. In any case, thanks for listening to the ramblings of a jaded old man. I'll see you around. So now we have a new ability at our disposal. Sunshine, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. He can summon the cat, that's it. Didn't know her, she was a stranger to me. She was nice enough, polite. What did you think of her? I don't know. I don't know why you're asking either. She was distant, she seemed nice but was distracted and worried about something. What makes you say that? I don't know, maybe nothing. It was just the feeling around her. You make it sound very ominous. Guess it seems that way now. I wonder sometimes if she knew, if she felt it. You seem to like walking around the ship a lot. There's not much else to do on a ship like this. You're not looking for something? Or someone? Of course not. What was there to look for on this teacup? It's almost like you're keeping tabs on things around here. I see you're trying to play detective. Maybe if you're suspicious of everyone won't think to be as suspicious of you. What brought you on this ship? It's no concern of yours. You're right, but there's been a disappearance on the ship and everyone's a suspect. You're the one who's going to get to the bottom of it? Is that right? I'm not going to stick around and humor your pointless questions. What's the harm in telling me? Surely there's nothing to hide. No harm and no benefit either, but if you insist. I'm traveling to meet an old friend of mine. Now I have things to do. The old man's too slow and his skill leaves a few things to be desired. I'm sure you're safe here, Gwen, but if anything comes up you can tell me. Thanks. Not so sure though. I felt like this since I was back home. I don't like it. It's someone here, I know it. You doing okay? There he is. Look upset, is something wrong? I'm fine, there's nothing to talk about. What kind of things does an employee key open here? Strange question. Regular employees don't have much extra access to the ship. You wouldn't have access to the cabinets in the pilot house, would you? So Mercurio gets access to the kitchen supplies, all in electronics. So maybe the one I need to possess is Ferdinand then. Sure, that wasn't important. Look at me, I'm the captain now unlocked. Okay, I had to take a break and now I'm back. Well, between the parts I did play ahead, so I know considerably more about what I need to do. Basically, I wanted to avoid floundering around like in the second chapter, which is hopefully something I can cut out. I don't know how smooth the entire end result will be, but we'll see. So, can I actually... Yes, I can do a full possession of her. So, one thing that I need to explain is that when you fully possess someone, there's basically no remnant of them left inside while they're under your control. It's basically you, the ghost, that is going to have conversations with people. And to give you an example, the options have changed from the normal possession route. So doing a basic possession, this is when Shu or Sue or whatever her name is talking. And the options change when we do full possession. So I don't remember which one we have to use on Donovan, but it's just one of the aspects to make the game a little bit more complicated. I know you broke into my room and stole the master key, and I know you stole the master key first. You're in no position to make any demands of me. How did you know I stole the key? There's no reason I should tell you that. I don't know you answers. Got it? I want to know why you need that key. It's too bad because I don't want to tell you. If you don't tell me, I'll let everyone know you broke into my room and have the master key. Do that and I guarantee you'd lose your job here. You're pretty tight on money, aren't you? You couldn't afford for that to happen. I don't care, the captain is missing and we have to work together. I need to know why you wanted the master key so badly. Jesus, you're serious, aren't you? What's gotten into you all of a sudden? Fine, but not out here. Come to my room and I'll tell you. Okay, so now you get to learn Donovan's secret. Okay, what's going on here? One of the things I don't like about the game is when everyone gets cluttered up like this. So for one reason or another, he's not moving. This is definitely one of the aspects that could be a little bit smoother. You're playing a dangerous game here. Stealing the master key from the pilot house, blackmailing me. What do you hope to accomplish? So, why did you break into my room and take the master key? You mean the master key you stole from the pilot house? I need unrestricted access to the rooms on this ship. For that, I needed the key. It was never yours to take, and I had greater need for it. I want answers. The captain is dead, if we're going to find out why we can't, and we're going to find out why we can't afford to keep. Okay, the captain is dead. If we're going to find out why we can't afford to keep secrets from each other. There's no we, but fine. The first secret is that the captain isn't dead. She's still somewhere on this ship, though I don't know in what state. That sounds unlikely, only from your perspective. I have solid reason to believe it's more than likely she's been abducted. What do you mean, in what state? If she was abducted, she's probably seriously injured. She should be alive, but she'll need medical attention. Where on the ship is she, then? I haven't checked every room of the ship yet. The master key will solve that problem. On top of that, this is an old ship. It's clearly seen renovations over the years. That could mean there are secret areas to it that we don't know about. How can you possibly know that for sure? And now, Donovan's secret. What I'm about to tell you cannot leave this room. For the sake of the captain and all the other people on this ship. I'm in pursuit of a known serial killer. His trail has led me to this ship. He's a sadist. He tortures his victims, maims them, and worse, but he keeps them alive for days. I believe he has chosen the captain as his latest victim. If I'm right, there's still time to reach her before she dies. So, you're a cop or something? FBI. Can I see your badge? No. How do I know I can trust what you say? I'm laying innocent lives on the line by sharing this information with you. I'm going to put that much trust in you, I expect some in return. And I'm going for the third option. Why don't you call for help? I don't need any help. It would only get in my way. In order to apprehend the right person, I need evidence. That means stealth and surveillance. One person is more effective for that. What can we do then? You can help by being quiet and staying out of my way. I'll need to make a full sweep of the boat. That's where the master key comes in. When I do find the captain, I'll be able to track down my killer. Let me tell you something. There is such a thing as evil. It's on the ship with us. And I'm here to exterminate it. Now, I have a lot of work to do, so I'd like you to go away. And I may have missed the dialogue option. The reason why Donovan trusts Sue is because he has the profile for the killer. It's an older male, Caucasian, and that's basically how he can determine the women are to be trusted. Gwen, Sue, Kella, there's Sue's room, and so on. And before I move forward, I want to see if I can possess this guy. I don't remember if I unlocked him or not. No, I didn't. So let's go grab Daryl. I don't remember if it's... No, it's Garv. We need Garv. Where is the old codger? Basically, to explain the cook, he wants to just lie low throughout the entire thing, and it's the old man who sympathizes with him. How's your pay? Are you happy here? Pay is not good, but I manage. Working here has its advantages. The lack of passengers here means I often have the kitchen all to myself. I may still be on work hours, but I have time to do my own stuff. Study, practice. At least as far as our meager supplies and ingredients allow me to. You haven't thought of another job? What, are you offering me a job or something? Unless you own a restaurant, I'm not interested. Sure, I'd like to get out of here and work somewhere classier, but that's easier said than done. You've never thought about forcing the issue of race to the captain? What exactly are you getting at? I'm not crazy about my pay, but that's a secondary concern to me. I would never do anything stupid just for cash. Everyone has their price. Maybe, but mine is pretty high. What was your opinion of the captain? Honestly, she seemed a little clueless. About how the ship works, sure, but also about everything in general. She had some weird ideas about how to improve the ship that were just... strange. Not sure why someone so bright-eyed became the captain of a shit pile like this in the first place. Weird ideas. Would you say they were ideas that had to be stopped? I hope you're trying to be funny with that veiled accusation. It's not like I ever cared one way or another about her stupid ideas. In fact, if they worked, which they weren't going to, it would only benefit me. But no kind of management could make this an actual successful cruise ship. You don't seem very cut up about her disappearance. Hey, I feel bad about the situation. Everyone does. But making a show of it doesn't help anyone, least of all the captain. It's also not like I can do anything about it. I'm not a cop, and I don't solve murders. I'm just the cook. I see, you're just going to keep your head down and wait things out. Smart. Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't have expected a geezer like you to understand that. I've seen people die for having the wrong friends or stick up for the wrong person. I learned a long time ago to mind my own damn business. There's no point acting like a hero. I'm just trying to do my job here. And now we can possess him. There are a couple characters that you cannot fully possess, but by unlocking our cook here, we can now access the shelving. It's the cupboard I use for all my non-spoilable ingredients, a little too small for my needs. Open it. Looks the same as it did last time I checked it. Top shelf. Cram full of bottles of cooking oil and various sauces. We have a small box with insurance written on it in the back. Inside the box are various handwritten notes. They all have vague instructions regarding dropping off items or supplies. One note has instructions for leaving the boat's docking ramp out overnight before the ship disembarked. In each case, few specifics are given, but a payment for these services is referenced. Keeping these around hasn't done me much good. If I can't figure out who sends the notes, I have no leverage. Period. Middle shelf. Largest contains all sorts of grains and starches. bottom shelf. Miscellaneous supplies like plastic wrap and parchment paper. There's several paper forms with different tables of information. The forms all have tables counting the kitchen stock. This much grain, this much chicken, and so on. It's not very interesting to read through. Several papers in, there's writing with red ink everywhere. Numbers are crossed out and other numbers are written over them. These ledgers are almost completely inaccurate. I'll be coming to check the kitchen stock more often from now on. That was the captain for you, always so diligent. What did she care if a little food went missing here and there? And as for the fridge, anyone think we'll find a body inside? Just kidding. Left side, condiments, some of the items that were used. It smells of alcohol. When you lean in closer, the odor is quite powerful. So we'll find the alcohol in a little bit. We need Donovan to find that for us. The right door contains all sorts of dairies and beverages. There isn't much noteworthy about it. Main unit. It's jam-packed with all sorts of foodstuffs. It oddly manages to be extremely tiny despite this. Number of empty plastic bags, stuff that was used up. Okay, as for the cook's ability, lo and behold we can see messes, or what was left of them, on the floor. So we have a puddle outside the fridge, we have some puddle outside of the garbage can here, and this is your clue to find out where Donovan needs to go. So you may have realized, hey, maybe there are other messes on the ship. Maybe. So let's follow this side first. So it's all leading into this room. And if you remember, this is the supply closet. So it leads all up to this locker. It's a metal closet for cleaning supplies. The door won't open, it needs a key. So before you flip out and start thinking there's a body in there, you see the residue of bleach on the ground. So this is actually showing you where a certain secret is. There are two ways to find this place. You can either use the cook or you can stumble across it by accident with Donovan. But you just need to know that this is here. And that's the entire reason I grabbed the cook. So let me just do a quick scan. I have complete control over him. I can grab him. By the way, if you want an achievement with Ferdinand, if you flip all of the levers and buttons just going around in a big circle, you get Who's the Captain Now? I don't know if you're an achievement hunter or what, but now you know. So that's Sue's room. Ah, that's the cook's room. We'll be in there in a moment with Donovan. Captain's room. So we'll get clues when we can read this, but here we have a save point that reminds me. If you're wondering where the third save point is, there's one on each floor with the exception of the bridge. The third one is right here. Someone didn't finish their cup of tea. For some reason, while looking into the tea, you had a strange sense of déjà vu. The cup of tea can now be used to record your memories. It may be best not to think too hard about it. And that's the third and final save point, which in turn also unlocks an achievement. So to move forward, we need Donovan. And we also need his key. With this key, I can finish my comprehensive search of the ship. So far, I've gone through every room except Mercurio's room and the captain's room. I can also check my computer for any information. I've got a lot of footage of the ship to check out. I'm sure I'll be able to find the captain with all of this. So if you want another achievement, there's one here in the computer. Log on, check email, go through the 3 emails to get the tie to, well, the first of the 2 ties to the Flash game. Hey Donovan, it's been a long time since we've spoken. I hope you're doing better since you left the Force. I know it's been rough. Truth is, I'm contacting you because I need your help. Something has come up which requires a special touch. It's him, Donovan. Let me know if you can help. L. And before you get excited thinking, holy crap, it's L from Death Note, no, it's not. Email 2. I've tracked him down to a small cruise ship of sorts. However, it's across the border, so it's out of our jurisdiction. By the time we can coordinate an effort, he'll be gone. I threw away my badge and go after him myself, but I got close to him. My identity was compromised. I need someone from outside that he doesn't know. You're the only one who can do this, Donovan. It's been a long time since he struck, and it's possible he'll regard this isolated ship as a prime opportunity. Attached, you'll find everything you need to know in order to get there. The rest is on you. L. And to find out who L is, you have to read the third email. Oh, and one last thing, Donovan. I know you blame me for your dismissal, but you weren't okay, Donovan. You needed the break. Maybe you're still bitter, but keep this in mind. I'm breaking a lot of regulations and personal standards enlisting your help like this. I'm putting a lot of trust in you. So please, be professional about this. Don't do anything reckless. Get the job done and come home. For me, Lucille. So you need her name to access the computer later. Her name is the password. Then you can check the camera recordings. All the passengers are on B2, people moving back and forth. The only constant is the black cat. Sometimes it's carrying small objects in its mouth. It's a small-time thief, I guess. And I'm emphasizing this because that's one of your clues for something that's going to be coming up in a little while. There isn't really anything suspicious that goes on down here from day to day, though. This is the middle floor where all the staff stay. Usually people are walking through here to reach the upper deck, where I don't have any cameras. Mercurio and Garv are always going in and out of the broom closet for cleaning supplies. Almost every day since we've disembarked, in fact. Ferdinand is always walking around everywhere with that stupid grin on his face. Daryl walks through here once or twice a day, but spends all day on the upper deck. So, you now have all the clues you need to actually wrap up the game. You can go through the various footage. Day was the captain's last seen. No peculiar movements. That night, the captain left her room, went up to the first floor, and never came back down. Unfortunately, I couldn't install cameras on the first floor, so I don't have any eyes on her after that point. Between the time when she left and the next morning, every single person went up to the first floor and came back down. So really, anything could have happened in that time period. The last thing of note is when Sue came back to her room that night, she had the spare master key with her. She must have picked it up from the pilot house when the captain was no longer there. As for yesterday, a couple things happened. Alton and Sue were all around talking to people, very strange. Kel was also particularly busy walking all around talking to people. And then that evening, Gwen entered my room. Somehow, my door was unlocked. She clearly didn't take anything, so I'm confused what her goal was. As for today, it's not over yet, but there's still plenty of footage to cover. The crack of dawn, Ferdinand paid a visit to Garv's room. Odd. Not long afterwards, he had a meeting with most of the ship. Afterwards, most of the people headed up to the first floor, where I don't have cameras installed. Crud, I accidentally pushed that. As for Donovan's ability, he can see things that you can interact with. Shelf is packed full of cat food and bird feed, cat litter, modest amount of clothes, human clothes of course, thank God. He's not that kind of weirdo. In this shelf there's a variety of medicines and first aid equipment, things like bandages, needles, and even what appears to be an IV drip. So what is wrong with Garv that he needs an IV? And sadly the ghost doesn't actually appear on Donovan's sense. What are you doing in my room? I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. I know you snuck into my room when I wasn't around. I don't know what you mean. What makes you say that? I have camera footage of you walking in, clear enough. I was looking for something. I thought you were someone else. I'm sorry. It's a giant rustic dresser. Empty. There's a fistful of air fresheners in the front. In the back there's a decomposing rat. Great. Empty. There are a bunch of crumpled up receipts, all of them unremarkable, and that just unlocked the syndicate for me, which is the other tie-in. Underneath them is a crumpled up note. This loan will take care of the hotel's expenses while we get things set up. Soon enough, the regular split will be no more than enough to support you. Obviously, don't leave the money or this note lying around. C. So who could C be? And if you notice, this one room isn't registered to anyone in particular. Bit surprised we can actually get into Gwen's room. Backpacks on the floor. Mixture of family mementos and pepper spray. Not what I was expecting to see. 4 shelves. Clothes, undergarments specifically. Nothing to see here. More clothes. That shouldn't be surprising. Really, that's what dressers are for. Shelf is completely empty except for what looks like a business card placed in the center. Group therapy for survivors. On the back is various contact information. Empty. Why would someone travel around with a hatchet? The stranger still, by the look of this blade, this axe has never seen any use. I'll have to keep an eye on Gwen. She doesn't seem to have a firm grip on reality. Nothing to interact with here. Holy crap, it's Daryl. This is the first time I think I've actually seen him in his room. Sullen as ever, huh? I don't know what you mean. You sure? Your face looks like the Grim Reaper himself. I'd rather that than be smiling like an idiot all the time. Is everything a joke to you? Well, of course. You, me, life. What is it if not a big cosmic joke? And I don't think we can... Oh, we can enter Apollo's room. What are you doing here? How'd you get in? Not used to company, I take it. Not the living, breathing kind. What's a little kid doing on a ship like this by himself? Traveling from one location to another. Where are your parents? It's dangerous to be on a ship like this by yourself. You shouldn't be here. That's why I had the door closed and locked. Or did, anyway. Locks are deterrents, not actual protection. They can always be gotten around. Apparently. So can we search his room? Because I know there's an achievement for learning about his backstory, which I have yet to get. Nothing to interact with. Nothing here. Okay, first mate's quarters. If I remember, this place was practically empty. And that does indeed appear to be the case. Top shelf, huge pile of cards. Cards for birthday, cards for Christmas, cards just because. They're all dressed from mom or grandma. Well, isn't that sweet? I just got Implosion. A pile of programming textbooks. They look brand new. Underneath them is something else. It looks like college transcripts. For the first 2 years, there's all A's. Cumulative GPA of 3.9. Third year, there are only withdrawals and F's. Oh wait, there's one C. After that, it ends. Finally, at the bottom, a letter of expulsion. Nothing but clothes here. There's all sorts of gadgets and wires here. There's chargers, headphones, and so on. So you actually have quite a bit of incentive to explore with Donovan, because now I'm getting all the stuff that I missed last time. This shelf contains all sorts of textbooks for studying English and passing English comprehension exams. Looks like all that studying paid off. Just some extra clothes in here. In this shelf there are several vibrators, also an open pack of condoms. There are several books and DVDs in Chinese here. I have no idea what they're about. Must not make joke about Sue being only a thief. Okay, now to pick up where I left off. There are two things to examine in this room. You can see the bookshelf, and then the less obvious one is actually in the corner. There's a hole in the wall's plaster. When I tap on the wall, I can tell that it's hollow, from floor to ceiling. I wonder how far up or down this continues. And the other thing is over here. A large bookcase filled with big, intimidating-looking books. All of them have something to do with food or cooking. Let's take a closer look. So, I don't actually remember where everything is. I'm just going to speed through these. So, recipe stuff. I'll never get off this ship. Fuck this book. Clean kitchen. Several ingredients are circled, they're lacking, and then just pay attention to this title. Caring for your meat. How did a title like that get past the publisher? Recipe for every occasion. Hold on. Hiding behind the book are several empty bottles of whiskey. Recipe for every occasion indeed. And there's more alcohol for us to discover. That one is not the big one, I'd say. So kitchen management and organization. Successful restaurant. Never forget why you're doing this. There's a bulge in the book's pages. Finders keepers. Useless. I don't have any equipment that's consistent enough for these measurements. Amateur to professional. But the important thing is we got a key here. So now we can unlock something in the captain's room. Yeah, we already went in Sue's room. So there are a few things to check. It's a copy of Euclid's Elements. Skimming the book reveals only a bunch of dry mathematical principles. There's something strange about the book. For whatever reason, it feels like it's looking back at you. And I haven't gotten the Euclid's Elements achievement. I'm wondering if this book may have something to do with it. On the front cover of the journal, someone has written the name Smilla. Page 1. Just when I thought I had exhausted all possibilities, I lucked out. I got a tip about a recent opening for a captain of the small cruise ship. Strangely, it's not part of a larger cruise line, but it's still financed by some peak company. The ship looks really small and a bit run down, but I don't have the luxury of being picky. Given all that's happened, I can't expect a good ref from any past employer, so I'm stuck with this. Hey, how bad could it be? I've gotten settled in and met the staff and passengers. It's a pretty colorful lot. I get the sense that most people are here for the same reason I am. There's nowhere else to go. One of the passengers is just a child on his own. I can't imagine what his family is like. Some of the others have been through hell and back. You can just see it in their eyes. Maybe I arrived amongst my own people. I already knew this wasn't going to be a 5-star cruise before I got here, but I had no idea. Everything is so disorganized. I'm surprised the ship hasn't shut down for one reason or another. For instance, food seems to go missing from the kitchen on a recurring basis. Why? No one knows. There also isn't any set boarding time for everyone. The passengers come whenever they want before a set date. A couple of them already moved in and were ready to go before I got here. And weirdest of all, the ship's displacement is just off. For a boat of this size and capacity, it sits lower in the water than it should, like there's leftover cargo on the ship, somewhere that nobody knows about. There must be something, at least, that's making the ship heavier than it appears. I feel like a part of my identity has returned to me. So that's supposed to... Eventually the ghost will change its appearance, becoming more and more humanoid. It's a giant rustic dresser, 4 shelves. Top shelf is filled with bottles of absinthe. Some of them are empty. Not exactly what you expect to find in a dresser. The captain liked to drink hard, apparently. So now we know where the rest of the alcohol went. Right shelf, clothes, unfolded. Bottom left, passport and book. Passport's pages are completely different, full with work visas from different countries. France, Germany, Turkey, America, Mexico, Cambodia, and still more. The captain was a floater, it looks like. It's a copy of Euclid's Elements, a treatise on mathematics and geometry. It's an extremely dry book, not your typical leisurely read. There's a photo being used as a bookmark. It's a picture of an older woman and a young girl, mother and daughter. At the back of the photo is something that's scribbled, 1954 to 1992. The shelf contains more clothes. Mixed in are different uniforms and IDs in all sorts of different languages. Quite the world traveler. And then with that key we got from the cook, we can now open this. Chest opens with a key found in Mercurio's room. Inside are buckets of paint and a paint roller, along with a handwritten note. Do not get the cheap shit. The sun, rain, and salt will make quick work of shoddy paint. I'm sure you understand how disastrous it would be if the paint started chipping before it's due. Don't be stupid. Make sure it's paint for exteriors and it's high quality. It's all a bit dusty, it hasn't seen recent use. Still, it's clear someone has had to do frequent painting on the exterior wall of the ship. I'd be interested to know why. So I don't remember if I had Sue check Mercurio's pockets, but he's carrying a paintbrush. Okay, before we finish with Donovan, there's one last thing that I've been putting off, and some of you have probably been wondering. Since I have the master key, that means I can open this, right? It's a metal closet for cleaning supplies. The master key is able to open the door. Inside there are all sorts of cleaning supplies. There's also a top shelf with lots of paperwork. Cleaning supplies. Most of it is what you would expect to find. Rags, dustpans, bleach, soaps, sponges. They mostly look old and forgotten, except the bleach has been bought recently. That can't be good. Paperwork. It's a giant stack of receipts and expenses. It all looks really uninteresting. Wait, in the middle of the stack, there's a smaller paper with handwriting on it. First of all, we're checking the receipts. Most of the expenses involve staff. There's also supplies being bought and food inventory being restocked. And there's the income from passengers coming aboard. Oddly enough, the two don't seem to add up. The expenses are always a great deal larger than the income. Paper. I hope this note has been found by the right person. I have reason to believe someone has been breaking into my room while I'm away. I think it has to do with that strange chest, the paint. If I'm right, it means something is terribly wrong here. Only the master key unlocks my door. And I have the only master key, right? I have a plan, but I could fail. If I do, someone else needs to know. I'm looking for a door that shouldn't exist. It should be in a corner or on a side where you don't normally look. It must have something to do with what's in that chest, but I couldn't get it open. Be careful, this ship has eyes and ears. People know things they shouldn't. There are alliances being forged. And a part of the identity has returned. So, I am now more whole. I am more whole now, though I'm not what I once was. I feel more grounded in the real world. So this means that people can actually start to see you. Huh? No, it's nothing. I'm too young to be going senile. And I need Donovan once again. So now we need to wrap up his story. So notice there's no crack in the wall here. You're looking at the top left corner there. In Mercurio's room, there's one. Damn it, go in the dining room. Here in the dining room there's one. It's the exact same text as Mercurio's room. I don't think there's anything to interact with here. Or in there, so... Our time with Donovan is now approaching an end. So, if you don't find the clue with Mercurio, you have to find it this way. In theory, the dining room is on the other side of this wall, but investigating the dining room wall showed there is a hollow space somewhere here. Like I thought, there's a layer of fresh paint here. I wonder if... Yes, there's a seam in the wall that's been painted over. There's a waist-high door here. Now that I've cleared off a bit more paint, I can see a lock to the door. We choose to investigate that. This lock is quite modern and sophisticated. It must have been installed in the last decade. Picking a lock like this is still possible, but I don't have the tools. It could take several days. Except that the boat's antiquated skeleton key is somehow able to open it. The waist-high door slides open to reveal a ladder extending down into darkness. This might be what I've been looking for. I'm trying to point something out with the mouse for you guys. What happens next is very important. I'll need to retrieve more equipment from my room. Worst case scenario, the captain is too physically damaged to answer any questions. I'll need to lay down a proper investigation to ensure I can get the info I need. Who are you? How long have you been standing there? How sad. You didn't know it, but you never stood a chance. You weren't even close to the truth. Not nearly as close as she was. And here we are back again, except you can see our new form. And get a load of this place. As for what happened, you'll have to wait till next time. So that's the end of Chapter 3. Now we can begin Chapter 4. Until then, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching,